So today is Mother's Day. And to all the mothers, the godmothers in the church, we say a happy and a blessed Mother's Day to you. Mother's Day, of course, is not by tradition a commemoration of the church. It is an American holiday. And yet of all the holidays that are celebrated in our country and our society, Mother's Day is, in a sense, the closest to the spirit of the church. And therefore we embrace it with joy, as makes sense. Every Orthodox church around the world has in the place of foremost honor a mother. So this makes sense to us. But which aspect of motherhood do we praise? Which aspect do we honor? This is not, as we celebrate it in the church, exactly quite a hallmark observance. We don't have any of the greetings of the cheesy poems. Roses are red, violets are blue, you are my mom and I love you. It's beautiful. It's simple, but it's a little bit, in a certain sense, it's trite. In the church, we say rather that the mothers show us the way of the Christian life. First and foremost, Panagia. Panagia, who lived a life devoted to the Lord. First and foremost, long before she became his mother. She was devoted to him from her earliest childhood. She lived a life of prayer, of service, of obedience, of labor, of intercession, long before the Archangel Gabriel came to her. But furthermore, it is a strange thing that we honor her as the preeminent mother. She only had one child. We might think we would pick a mom who had lots of kids. And of course, this is also the case. For as she is the mother of the Lord, and he is the head of the church, and we are members of his body, therefore, the Panagia, although mother only to one, we may say too is mother to us all. But if we may cut right to the heart of the matter, we know that Panagia got little joy from her motherhood. For her, to be a mother was a matter of labor, a matter of fear for her son's life and for her own, a matter of sorrow when she saw him upon the cross, and a matter of separation. For even though he rose from the dead, he ascended into heaven, and she did not have him with her to comfort her. And yet we speak of her as the model of motherhood. For as any mother in this room knows, to be a mother is to have and to lose. To have joy and to have sorrow. To have fulfillment and to have emptiness. It is universal. And I said, the mothers show us the way of Christ. For the mothers are the ones who speak with the voice of the woman of Samaria, who we see up there. Because she came to the well, as we hear today, laboring under all the burdens of a woman of this world. We know from Holy tradition that she had many children, so she was a mother. We also hear in the Gospel she had had many husbands. She understood, both in her righteous labors as a mother and in her failures as a woman, she understood the burdens and the troubles and the trials of this world. So when the Lord asks her for water to begin the conversation, and she says, "You're talking to me? I'm a Samaritan, you're a Jew. Just to warn you, I'll make you unclean just if I give you water." And he says, "If you knew who was asking you for water, you would ask instead for living water that will never run out." And he's right. She says, "Living water, never run out. I don't have to come to the well. No more carrying this bucket. No more coming out to hear the cries and the calls and the criticism of everyone who know all my sins and my failure. Yes, please. Give me this living water that will never run out." And she's thinking only of a pot that perhaps will never empty. She's thinking of the struggles of the world, and she wants to have them taken away from her. And the Lord, in the course of the conversation, reveals to her that He is Himself this source of living water. He is Himself this source of everlasting life. He is Himself this source of grace and mercy and healing and comfort for all the pains that she has endured in all her life. And therefore, the marvel of marvels, she is not overwhelmed by shame. She is not consumed by embarrassment when he tells her all the things he knows about her. She simply says, "You're a prophet. I get it. Tell me how this is supposed to go." And then he reveals himself as Messiah, and she leaves her water pot behind. She leaves the cares of the world behind. Not that she still doesn't need water, not that she has no longer the responsibilities to the man she is with, to the children she has borne, but these no longer feel as a burden to her, perhaps. Or she simply has seen a source of joy, of comfort, of healing, and she wants to tell everyone about it. In a sense, she too is a model of motherhood, because she has the burden of needing to draw water for herself and for many. And she earnestly desires the living water. And she receives what she desires, and ever so much more. The same is true for Panagia. She is the perfect example of motherhood and the perfect example of the Christian life. Because in losing what she loves, in enduring the burdens and the struggles of her life, she somehow finds a comfort that sustains her through every day of her life. And every mother in the room knows what it is to lose, to grieve, to suffer, and to turn to Christ for comfort. We sometimes complain, we priests. We sometimes complain that the church is full mostly of women. Where are the men? But we understand, too, the reason why. The women, the mothers, have loved and have lost. Even if their children only grew up and moved away, they have loved and have lost. And they come to Christ to receive the living water that will never run dry. And they are a reminder to all of us that this is what it is to be a Christian. It's not that we decide, oh, I'm going to lose, so I'm not going to love. I'm going to suffer, so I'm not going to try. We take the cross. We bear the burdens of our lives and our responsibilities, of our loves, of our families, of our friends, of our neighbors. We live life And when we suffer, when we fail, when we fall, then we turn to Christ and we ask for strength. We don't stop drinking the water of this world, but we understand that the source of living water is the Lord, and He gives to us this well which springs up from our hearts for everlasting life. This is the example of Panagia. This is the example of the Samaritan woman, the enlightened one, Hagia Photini. This is the example of all the saints. We turn from the things of this world to the things of God. And as we turn to Him, even the things of this world are made still more beautiful by Christ's presence in our midst. To every mother, and to every father, and to every one of us, as we live, as we endure the trials and the travails of life, may we turn our hearts, our eyes, our lives to the Lord and seek the comfort, the strength, the nourishment that only He can give. Please stand and let us continue the liturgy.